first times. Starting with, this is my first time doing this game.
She was never supposed to make it this far. Not in a city that chews up dreams, not in a neighborhood most people only saw through police reports. And certainly not from a broken home where survival came before ambition. Yet somehow, a teenage girl sitting on a crumbling New York stoop would catch the eye of a filmmaker. An encounter so random, so improbable, that it feels less like chance and more like destiny. This is the story of Rosario Dawson, the street corner discovery who rose from squat houses and abandoned buildings to become one of Hollywood's most fearless, unpredictable, and politically outspoken actresses. But behind the powerful roles, the activism, the iconic characters, lies a woman whose life has been shaped by chaos, resilience, and battles the world never saw. So the question is, how did a girl with no connections, no money, and no formal acting training transform herself into a global icon, all while navigating the storms of fame, controversy, and expectation? Today, we uncover the rise, the pain, the reinvention, and the legacy of Rosario Dawson, a woman who refused to be defined by where she came from. Rosario Dawson was born in New York City in 1979, a city vibrating with energy, anger, danger, and relentless change. Her mother, Isabel, was only 16 when she became pregnant, a teenager forced to grow up overnight. Her father was never part of her life, and for many families that would have been the end of the story. But for Rosario, it was only the beginning. She grew up in the roughest parts of the East Village, a place that, in the 1980s, was nothing like the polished Manhattan people know today. Her family lived in an abandoned building with no electricity, no heat, and no stability. To keep the place livable, her mother and stepfather patched the walls, installed pipes by hand, and created a home where there technically wasn't one. For a young child, the daily soundtrack was sirens, shouting, and the steady hum of a city in crisis. But instead of breaking her, it forged her. Rosario learned early what strength looked like, a teenage mother working multiple jobs, fighting to protect her children. A community of neighbors who had nothing, yet always found ways to share everything. And a city that demanded toughness, creativity, and instincts sharper than fear. These years didn't just shape Rosario Dawson, they built the unshakable core that would later fuel her career. Her activism and her refusal to be silent. Before she ever stepped in front of a camera, she had already survived more than most adults ever will. Rosario Dawson never planned to become an actress. She wasn't in drama clubs, she didn't take lessons. And Hollywood was a world so far away, it might as well have been a different planet. Her life was about survival, not stardom, but fate has a strange way of finding the ones who refused to break. At 15 years old, Rosario was sitting on the front steps of her East Village apartment, a cracked concrete stoop, the kind kids used as both a playground and an escape. Passing by that day were filmmaker Larry Clark and screenwriter Harmony Korine. They saw something in her, a raw presence, a spark, an authenticity they couldn't ignore. Korine approached her with a proposition that sounded unreal. Do you want to be in a movie? That movie became Kids, 1995, one of the most controversial, shocking, and culturally explosive films of the decade. Rosario wasn't just convincing. She was magnetic. Her performance felt real because it was real, drawn from the streets. From hardship, from instinct, Hollywood noticed almost overnight. Rosario went from an anonymous teenager in a struggling neighborhood to a breakout face in independent cinema. She had no training, no agent, no roadmap, only natural talent and the courage to show up as she was. Her breakthrough wasn't a polished debut. It was an eruption, the beginning of a career built not on privilege, but on truth. After the shockwave of Kids, Rosario Dawson stepped into an industry that didn't quite know what to do with her. She wasn't a Hollywood prototype. She wasn't polished, manufactured, or molded. She was real, and that rawness became her superpower. Throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, Rosario worked relentlessly, taking roles that stretched across genres and refused to box her in. She brought fire to He Got Game, vulnerability to Down to You, and a sharp, magnetic charm to 25th Hour, each role quietly building her reputation as one of the most versatile young actresses of her generation. Then came the film that changed everything. Sin City, 2005. As Gale, the fearless, leather-clad leader of Old Town, Rosario didn't just act. She dominated the screen. Her performance was bold, unflinching, and unforgettable. It cemented her as a pop culture force and a go-to actress for complex, powerful women. More breakthroughs followed. In Rent, 2005, she delivered one of the most emotional performances of her career. A raw, aching portrayal that earned praise from critics and fans alike. In 7 Pounds, 2008, opposite Will Smith, she showed a softness and humanity that revealed the full range of her talent. But her biggest pop culture explosion came later. Ahsoka Tano. When Rosario stepped into the Star Wars universe through The Mandalorian and later Ahsoka, she became a centerpiece of one of the most beloved franchises on Earth. Fans embraced her instantly. Her physicality, her intensity, her emotional depth, it all felt like the animated character had leaped into live action. By this point, Rosario Dawson wasn't just a respected actress. She was a symbol of representation. A Latina star who carved her place through grit, instinct, and unmistakable presence. Her rise wasn't loud or scandalous. It was steady, powerful, and undeniable. For all her strength, Rosario Dawson was never immune to Hollywood storms. And in an industry that feeds on controversy, her challenges were magnified, dissected, twisted, and broadcast loudly across the internet. One of the most turbulent chapters came in 2019. When a former family friend filed a highly publicized lawsuit accusing Rosario and her family of discrimination and mistreatment. The media seized the story instantly. Headlines exploded, social networks turned hostile. And Rosario, someone who had built her reputation on activism, empathy, and equality, suddenly found herself fighting a narrative built on accusations she firmly denied. The case dragged on for years. But as court documents unfolded, nearly every claim was dropped, dismissed, or proven unfounded. Still, the damage was done. In Hollywood, truth moves quietly. But scandal moves fast. Beyond legal battles, Rosario also faced the quieter, more invisible struggles of the industry. Periods when her career stalled, casting directors overlooked her, or studios hesitated to trust an actress who refused to fit into a single box. There were roles she lost, moments she questioned herself, and the emotional weight of maintaining a public image while battling private chaos. Her activism also brought backlash. Her involvement in political movements, voting initiatives, social justice causes, LGBTQ+ support, made her a target for online harassment and partisan criticism. But through it all, Rosario stayed grounded in the values shaped by her childhood. Fight, don't fold. Speak, don't hide. Behind the camera smiles was a woman enduring legal stress, media distortion, and the pressure of defending her identity in front of a world eager to judge. These struggles didn't break Rosario Dawson, they refined her. For some actors, redemption comes through a single blockbuster or a headline-grabbing comeback. For Rosario Dawson, it came through something far more powerful, purpose. After years of weathering lawsuits, media distortion, and online hostility, Rosario didn't retreat. She evolved. She turned her focus toward activism, becoming one of Hollywood's most outspoken voices for justice, equality, and community empowerment. She became a board member, organizer, and advocate for countless initiatives, from youth support programs to political engagement movements that encouraged marginalized communities to vote. Her activism wasn't a PR move. It was a continuation of the life she came from, a childhood shaped by poverty, survival, and the belief that people must show up for each other. Professionally, her reinvention came with a role that would redefine her career. Ahsoka Tano, stepping into the Star Wars universe, wasn't just a casting decision, it was a cultural event. Her physicality, her gravity, her raw presence brought the beloved animated character to life in a way fans described as fate. With The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and her own series Ahsoka, Rosario didn't just bounce back, she ascended. She transformed criticism into fuel. She turned setbacks into discipline. And with every new role and cause, she reshaped her image from Hollywood outsider to Hollywood force. Her reinvention wasn't loud, it was powerful, intentional, and undeniable. Rosario Dawson's legacy cannot be measured by awards alone. though her performances have shaped some of the most iconic moments in modern film and television. Her true impact lies in the barriers she broke, the worlds she bridged, and the voices she amplified. She became a symbol of representation for Latina actresses long before Hollywood cared about diversity. She took risks, embraced difficult roles, and shattered expectations about what a woman from her background was supposed to become. And through her activism, from youth justice to political engagement, she proved that influence is not just about fame, but responsibility. Her journey is a reminder that power can come from the unlikeliest places. A broken building in New York, a teenage mother's determination, a chance encounter on a neighborhood stoop. Today, Rosario Dawson stands not just as an actress, but as a cultural force, a woman who rose without privilege, fought without surrender, and built a legacy rooted in courage. The journey of Rosario Dawson proves that your origins do not define your destiny. Your choices do. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Hollywood documentaries.